Let us pray. Gracious and eternal God, I give you so much thanks, Lord, for the honor and privilege of bringing your word this morning. Now hide me behind the cross. Decrease me, O Lord, and increase you within me. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable in your sight, O Lord, our rock and our redeemer. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I graduated first in my high school class in 1996. And I gave a speech to our graduating class, and I was so nervous when I gave it. I waited a few days before graduation to finally write the speech because I didn't know what to say. My speech writing was done in the middle of stressful family situations. My family of origin, we lost our home when I was 17 years old. It was foreclosed on. There wasn't much food in the refrigerator at that time or the times before that. We moved from temporary housing to a house in Suitland, Maryland we lived in for 7 years where my husband visited me when we dated. And there was no money to start or finish college. I had a scholarship and loans for the first 2 years, but that was it. No money for books or a meal plan or incidentals or anything else. This was my reality senior year of high school. So in writing the speech to deliver to the graduating class, it was fitting that I was drawn to a poem titled The Road Not Taken by Robert Frost. And I included it in my speech. And the poem goes like this, at least some of it, for those of you who don't know it. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry I couldn't travel both. And be one traveler long I stood, and looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. I shall be telling this with a sigh, some for ages and ages hence. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the road less traveled by. And that has made all the difference. That last line hits home every time. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. Church, what roads have we traveled that have led us to Jesus? What roads have we traveled that have connected us to the greatest story ever told, the story of Jesus coming to us? The wise men enter the Christmas story in our scripture lesson for today. The wise men were astrologers from Western Iran, and they were likely practitioners of Zoroastrianism, which is one of the world's oldest religions. These men were diligent seekers of the stars and students of how stars and planets align, giving information about events to come. There may have been more than 3 of them. Our scripture tells us these astrologers brought 3 gifts, not how many came to see Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Matthew, a Jewish tax collector and one of Jesus' disciples, and the author of the Gospel of Matthew, wants us to know that it was astrologers, people that were considered of poor reputation and superstitious by Jewish standards, who recognized the star in the east and followed that star to Jesus. No matter the danger they face, no matter the fear around them, no matter what political tyrants and terrorists resisted the presence of another king and kingdom, like King Herod, and no matter the cost. Matthew wants us to know that these astrologers went anyway. And when they arrived to Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, they were overwhelmed with joy. And they were extremely generous, offering gifts of gold and frankincense and myrrh. They were obedient to God's leading, taking another road back to their own country. And they became part of the greatest story ever told, the Christmas story, simply by following the light of the star to Jesus. Church, following the light ain't safe. Following the light ain't easy. Being a part of the greatest story, God's story, will mean encountering danger and uncertainty in our lives, following where God leads us. But following the light also means that we go with joy. God wherever we go. The King Herod ethic of this world seeks to quench the light of Jesus, the movement of the Holy Spirit, and follow self to the total exclusion of anyone else. The King Herod ethic of this world values all strength and all wealth and all safety and all security and all comfortability and all power by any means necessary. The King Herod ethic of this world affirms tyrannical and self-serving leaders who want things done one way using one vision, their own. These types of leaders are insecure and deceitful and selfish and unloving, loving only self above God and neighbor. These types of leaders force everyone through violence to pledge allegiance to the powers of this world at the expense of everyone, killing threats to their power. The King Herod ethic of this world looks like killing anyone more gifted than us, dismissing anyone more skilled than us, and denying the presence of anyone more knowledgeable than us. The road the followers of the King Herod ethic travel are their own, and their story is great because they listen to their own voice, following their own plans rather than the one who created them. I was saddened and frustrated and angry this week reading major headlines in the news cycles. Namely, the story where members of the United Methodist Church crafted a plan for amicable separation of the denomination, surrounding conversations of human sexuality. And then there was a story of the killing of a top leader in Iran. And then there are the raging wildfires in Australia. These news stories and many others also caused me to reflect on the fact that in these King Herod times, times of looming church separations and tyrannical global leadership and environmental devastation, the Christmas story, the greatest story of how Jesus came to us, still needs to be told. Amen? Amen. And all still need to be included in it and invited to be a part of it. Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the road less traveled by, and that has made all the difference. The astrologers are part of the greatest story ever told, the story of a God who came to be with us as a human being to save the world from sin, because by God's grace they recognized the star and followed the light of that star to Jesus. By God's grace, the astrologers leaned into their curiosity and excitement and were surprised by joy to see Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Echoes of Psalm 14:2 come to mind in the astrologers going and seeking Jesus. This scripture says this: "The Lord looks down from heaven on humankind to see if there are any who are wise, who seek after God." Church, we remain part of the greatest story when we follow God's light wherever God tells us to go. We remain part of the greatest story when we cling to God's grace with joy and curiosity and hospitality in our hearts, seeking Jesus wherever he may be found. And we do not and cannot ever control where Jesus is found. We remain part of the greatest story when we take the many roads God leads us on to bring others to the manger of grace and forgiveness and love by that same light, the light of Jesus that shines in us. Actress and music artist Idina Menzel just released an album in November 2019 titled Christmas, A Season of Love. She also appeared in Disney's Frozen 2 in November of last year. And one of the songs on her new album is titled At This Table. This song is beautiful, with the video featuring people from all walks of life being invited to the table, a table of welcome and love and grace. Idina Menzel said this about the song: "Now more than ever, it is important that we not only respect but celebrate the perfect time to look past what divides us and embrace one another just as we are. Church, Menzel's words are timely and remind us of the greatest story ever told, the Christmas story. The one that the astrologers and many others were invited to be a part of and accepted God's invitation by following the light of the star to Jesus. Let us all accept our call each day as God's people, leading someone to God's table by telling the story of how we met Jesus and how we were never the same, inspiring others to meet Jesus too. Amen.
Amen.